to the Chapter 1 podcast, your inside look at the people powering Charlotte's business scene. Real entrepreneurs, real stories right here in the Queen City. We're here with Derek Burns today of Color World Painting. Derek, let's start at Chapter 1. How did you find your way here in Charlotte?
How did I arrive in Charlotte?
Yeah. What brought you here to Charlotte?
Actually, Charlotte was, it seems like it's been growing for 25 years, but that's about when I came down about 23 years ago. I was in, New England, and my kids were about to go to school, and I looked across the street, and the school was there and had bars on the school, and I was saying that, this just got to be better options. The company at the time that I was with was expanding to the, to North Carolina, South Carolina, and Charlotte was one of those markets that was open. Mm-hmm. So for the same salary, I could come down here and experience a better quality of life.
Yeah.
And it doesn't snow as much. So
Coming from Miami, that sounds great.
Oh, yeah. No, if it's, snowed 6 inches and you got to drift, your car was, you'd have to dig it out or stay in for the day.
You're really selling New England right now, by the way.
Yeah, no.
Bars on the schools, and then it's cold.
Yeah, well, that was Providence. I did just get, I did just take a trip up to New England, and it was, all the colors were there, and it was 60 degrees, and it was,
beautiful.
It was a great time to be there. In a month, not so much. It just won't be. So that's how we got started. We got started down here. And I was in retail, so retail's been up and down, and I was in a good place for a while, and the company I went on a down cycle. I was in the corporate office, and I got laid off, and I was out there and out in the job market trying to start over. So before I dyed my hair with this,
it's a great choice.
When I was interviewing. I came across, just different brokers that were, trying to sell me different concepts for, franchises. And it's something I, always had an interest in. I just never took that leap because I had family and kids and stability.
Sure.
So, I don't know, the universe just pointed me in that direction, and it was something I was looking at there. And I was given different concepts, and I ended up choosing Color World.
Yeah.
Based on price, really.
Yeah.
So the other concepts I was looking at, for the same price of one location, I could get 5 locations in Charlotte.
Wow.
So I said, well, I only need one of them to succeed.
That's right.
So I went with Color World Painting.
Awesome. So those early stages when you're, I guess, transitioning from working for somebody else to effectively, working for yourself and doing your own thing, what were some of the hurdles that you didn't really foresee until you got into this world, and how did you overcome those?
The hurdles was learning a business that I wasn't
Sure. familiar
with, but anything you do the same thing every day, you get good at it.
Yeah.
I don't know. The schedule became a lot better for me.
Yeah.
To me, the good thing was, I could make anything that I needed to make. If a doctor's appointment, kids event at
Sure.
school, sports games, I could control my schedule.
Yeah.
The hours did increase. So one of the challenges for me was not working a 12, 14-hour day because, it's your business and there's always something to do.
Right.
And you're working the majority of it from home. So you just keep,
You're
keep
like, I
working.
could just do this all day.
I just keep working. So getting myself to a 10, 8,
Yeah.
8-hour day was a challenge. And then when you want to keep doing something, when you want the business to grow and you've done everything you can do and you have to let things play out. So patience was, I guess, another one of the things that was a challenge for me because I don't have any.
I think we all struggle with that.
I've done everything I can do. I want a result. Why don't I have a result yet? Well,
wait.
Exactly. So those were, controlling my schedule and, and being patient when you've done everything you can do and you just have to see if,
Have to see if it plays out.
you've done it right, and it's it's going to play out.
So the early stages, I mean, and this carries through to no matter how long you've owned a business, but it's a lot of it is getting people in the doors, getting people interested in what it is you have. You think, hey, I've got this thing. I think it's interesting. I think it can work. Where are the people that need this thing? So for you, maybe especially in those earlier days, how did you go about marketing and networking and getting the name out? How did you get your clients?
The early days, I got lucky. I honestly,
That's the truth.
I
It
got
really is
very
the truth.
lucky.
People
I'm
ask.
experiencing that now.
Mhm.
Well, not now, but I'll get into it. I opened 3 months before COVID happened.
Oh, wow.
So, but for the home service industry, COVID was a boom.
Mm.
So I honestly, I got lucky. But when that boom came down, if I hadn't, developed relationships, if I hadn't made partnerships with other businesses,
Mhm.
if I hadn't done all the networking and the social media and everything that you're supposed to do, if you don't do that consistently, I would have failed because all those digital leads that you got before, you had to get them. You had to get them different ways.
Right.
And if you hadn't set that foundation or done what you're supposed to do as a whole, you can't depend on one source. You need 9 different sources
Right.
for everybody to see you. If I hadn't consistently done that, I would have hit a wall.
Mm.
So I did get lucky, but I still knew that I needed to do all these things
Right.
and not depend on one source.
Yeah.
It was actually 2 sources that got me through the first year, which was Home Advisor and Thumbtack. Now,
Yeah.
now Angie's Lead, but the business has changed. Angie goes through ups and downs just like any other business,
Right.
and right now I feel they're down.
Mm.
So
What does the process typically look like? So somebody comes across your page or you meets you in a networking meeting. They're like, this is what I need. I need painting.
Yeah.
What does the process from A to B look like?
Yeah. So as soon as you need painting, you just give us a call. There's always an estimate open for you within 48 hours. If there's not something open, my call center will call me and say, I've got a customer that needs an estimate.
Mhm.
We offer a 48-hour promise to get them an estimate. What can you open up for them? And they'll get me. So they'll get an estimate within 48 hours. We'll come out to the house, talk about your project with you, figure out what the scope is, and we put it all together on the spot, and we give you a presentation on the spot. Your estimates are on.
Mhm.
So we'll go over this is what we do. This is how long we've been around. We're backed by a guarantee. Here's what you need. Here's the prep that's all involved, and basically give you the entire scope and a price right there. And then from there you can decide to sign on and schedule, or you can think about it, get your 2 other estimates or whatever you need to do, and you can give us a call then.
So as far as the scope of work, just because somebody that doesn't understand painting or how it
Yeah.
works, do you guys, when you say you do painting, is it interior painting? Is it exterior painting? Is this mainly like your commercial painting, huge projects? Or if somebody's like, hey, I've got a bedroom that I need you to paint, did it get as
Yeah.
small as that? What does it look like?
Well, 95% of ours is residential painting. We do
Okay.
we do commercial work, but it's commercial repaints. So
Okay.
that's all with relationships. A restoration company will tell me I need something, or a national commercial company will say I need something. But that's just them coming to me, giving me the scope, and our painters will do it.
Yeah.
So the residential one is you telling me what you need, and then me telling you how I'm going to do it. This is the prep that's involved. This is the type of paint that This is the type of paint I'm going to use, and this is the result you can expect for this price.
Sure.
I'm sorry. Did I answer your question?
Yeah,
or-
yeah. I mean, mainly trying to get an idea. If somebody's watching this and they're going, okay, well, like, what kind
need
of
a paint.
painting does he do? You know?
Interior, exterior painting.
Okay.
We do paint cabinets. It is a 1-coat system, so but we're still going to. So with the cabinets, we'll take them all. Take your doors and drawers off. We'll sand everything. We're going to prime it, and then we're going to spray it. So we do it the right way, so you get the most
Sure.
durable product. If it's on the smaller side, 3 rooms and walls is usually the the smallest we can do. For an interior. For an exterior, the front of the house is usually the smallest we can do. If the HOA is, send you a letter, we don't like the way your shutters look, or we as long as we can get a full 1 day job out of it. But if it's less than that, 3 or 4 hours, you probably need a handyman.
Yeah.
So,
No, we run into that too, and somebody's just like,
you
hey,
probably need a handyman.
I would like a 30-second video of me talking. And I'm like, that's a little tough. We might be overkill for you.
Right. Sounds like a social media.
Right.
Yeah.
And so over your time of owning this company, have you noticed there's a specific kind of client that maybe gets a little more benefit out of this? Do you have a target market that you go for, or does it seem to be kind of broad?
Well, everybody needs painting, so we do service the majority of customers, but our customers are typically too busy to do the painting themselves, or want to worry about it. They want someone to worry about the project for them, and then they don't want to paint, and they don't want to have to worry about this again until it's time to it's still a time to paint again. So they want it done right. They don't want to worry about did you caulk everything that you're supposed to caulk? Did you sand everywhere you're supposed to sand? If there was bare wood and bare metal, was that primed? You want to make sure that all of that, because anybody can, roll some paint on a surface.
Right.
Okay. So, but is everything going to be done so that's not peeling again in, 30 days, or, the HOA is calling you again in a year and saying, hey, this is all faded. This is, so you got to make sure that, it was done the correct way, so you get the longest lasting finish and the most the most durable finish you can get.
Yeah. So for you, I mean, there's obviously other people doing painting services. There's other companies out there. Have you noticed, if I were to ask, what's the most unique thing about what you guys bring to the table? What's something that maybe if I went to a different painter, I might not be able to find that I could be able to find with you guys?
Yeah. Well, the painters are going to still do it the same. The painters are going to do it the same way.
Sure.
But how they're watched and how they're coached and how they're trained. I hire a production manager that doesn't have any experience in painting because I want them to have the perspective, of the customer.
Yeah.
It's like, that doesn't look right, or, why does it look like that? Or, just looking at those things that could be cosmetic to a painter,
right,
but very important, very important to a customer. So even though the painter, covered it correctly and painted it correctly, it's not the finish that the customer wanted, or it's not the end result that the customer wanted.
Right.
So having myself involved, the production manager involved, my office assistant involved, we're making sure that all those things are taken care of, so that all around they have the best finish, best finished product. I guess that's the best answer I can.
Yeah, no, it's great.
So the color consultant is, another big one, because a lot of painters, they don't want to have anything to do with choosing those colors. So we have a color consultant come in there, take a look at your furniture, take a look at what you've, what your plans are for the future. Are we changing this? Are we changing that? What is your vision?
Yeah.
For it, and let me help you get there. The painter just wants to know, do I put this paint?
Right.
Do I put this paint on the wall? I'll put
just
it on
tell
there.
me what to put.
Yeah, I'll put it on there correctly. But
having the overall vision is important.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there's 100 different whites, there's 100 different grays.
Right.
And then if you're really taking a chance and going into color and making it bold, is that going to take too much away from my overall, what do I want to see when I walk in this room? Right. The painter doesn't care, but we care. So we have a color consultant. We have and she's an interior designer. So, when you walk in the room, I want to see this area, I want to see this area first. My eyes should go here. My eyes shouldn't go, to the ceiling, or to the corner of the room. And that's what can happen if, we don't plan the project out the right way. Yeah.
What are some of the most common questions you get in this, or maybe when you work with somebody, what are what are some of the biggest misconceptions they have when you go to work with them about the project itself?
I mean, usually my questions are all about, are you insured?
Yeah.
Are we going to do it the right way? What kind of paint do you use?
Mm.
Those are the ones that I get. So, yes, we're,
Yeah.
yes, we're fully insured.
I imagine that comes with the territory. Yeah.
Yeah. Most of ours interior, we do use a lot of Benjamin Moore, but 75% of our projects are done with Sherwin-Williams.
Okay.
Misconceptions. Okay. Sheen. I want eggshell on the wall. Why do you want eggshell? Why do you want eggshell on the wall? And they want it to be wipeable. They want it to be, they want it to be durable. But any sheen is going to bring out every imperfection on your wall. So flat will hide imperfections. So if you just use duration or emerald, basically if you just use a little bit better paint, you can hide all those imperfections, still have the washability, still have the durability on the wall. So that's one but my color consultant usually can usually take care of that. But I mean, the thing is, if you want every imperfection moved from the wall, we can skim coat the wall, but it's very labor intensive. You end up paying 3 times amount for the wall when you can just hide what's bothering you with a $5 increase in a gallon of paint.
Yeah.
So
well, that's already interesting for somebody that doesn't know paint. The idea between
the sheen,
and something that's more flat to actually use to be hiding things on the wall.
Well, before we got into painting, my wife used to put semi-gloss on all the walls, so she didn't care what she saw.
The shinier, the better.
She just wanted to be able to clean it when the kids.
There you go. That's true.
So, yeah.
So on a personal side, does this mean that all your stuff in your house is just painted to perfection? Like how has it worked being a painter and then having
Hayden's tent? Yeah, we well, no, I mean, when I'm trying out painters, I'll have them paint my house.
That's what I was asking.
If they're gonna fail right in front of me, fail first, fail big. That way I know whether or not you're gonna be a painter of mine. So. So I'd say my house is always painted recently, but it's not perfect.
Yeah. So tell me what you love most about, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be about this specific company, but about being an entrepreneur, about owning your own thing. What have you loved the most out of this process that you've partaken in over the last several years?
For me, it's the schedule. Yeah. Even though I work a lot, I can always make what's important to my family. Last week I was up in New England, but it wasn't for a great reason. I was seeing family. But I was able to take off, and do what I needed to do. I guess on the professional side, I do love the challenge of, knowing what the business can be, and knowing that I can take it from where it is to where it can be.
Yeah.
So the challenge of growing it and improving the process, getting better at what I do, having 6 great crews instead of 3 great crews, which is a very big thing.
More people to manage.
Apparently it's easy. Well, I can manage them, but finding 6 great crews as opposed to 3 great. I've had 3 great crews for 4 years now. I'm really looking for a 4th grade crew so that, I can do more.
Well, sorry, I didn't want to sidetrack too much, but how do you find people? How do you find good employees?
Hiring, that I found has been the same for 25 years. You've always got to be hiring.
Yeah.
Every painter you meet, talk to them. See, watch them when they're ordering their paint at Sherwin-Williams. I'll see them, order it and go through the colors and I'll watch them and see if they're intense and they're making sure that Sherwin-Williams is getting everything right and they've got a list and, they're making sure all their I's are dotted and their T's are crossed. I'll watch them order and I'll say, hey, have you been working by yourself? Would you like to work for me? That's
awesome.
That's how, you'll find them and in Home Depot, you just, you watch them.
Bump into people. And, hey, you want to work for me?
Right. If they come up to my car and they're asking for work, why aren't you working now? It's always my first question. But if somebody is constantly working, they say, well, I'm real busy. I was like, okay, great. I do want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Like at some point, I'll get you part of my, I'll get you part of my team. But you've just always got to be looking. The best people already have jobs.
Yeah.
From what I found.
So if you were going to talk to somebody who is just starting off something on their own now, like they've been working for somebody else their whole life, and they're just kind of taking that transition to say, I want to do something on my own, what kind of advice would you give them, having done your own thing for several years now?
I think it's scary, but just do it. Jump in. You can just only, failing is learning, and if you're afraid something's going to happen, it probably is. So my advice would be is, if you feel confident, in your ability, and you've got a great idea, jump in and do it, because there's no better time than the present.
Derek, thank you so much for giving us some of your time. If people were trying to find you, and I guess a separate question would be, how far do you service? Where can they find you? How can they get in contact with you? And how far do you service?
We're not a franchise, so we service Charlotte and the surrounding areas.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's within 90 minutes of Charlotte, then go on the website, give us a call. The calendar's right on the website. Fill out a contact form, and we'll get you on the schedule.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Derek. I'm Greg Prinz, host of the Chapter 1 podcast. You can find our information below. We're on Spotify, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook. Once again, this has been the Chapter 1 podcast.